there's probably not a more lovable character in the show than Samuel Tarly. You realize when he sees the library that he smiles. And you realize that nobody in this show ever smiles, except for maybe Cersei, but I don't know if that's a smile as much as it's like an involuntary muscle response to something evil that pleases her. But there's a certain sweetness about Samuel, the way that John plays him.
Not John. Samuel, yes. John, no.
And I think we can assume that David and Dan and the world of Game of Thrones hates sweetness, and that eventually you will be executed somehow. So I'm wondering if you could choose the way you will die. Now is your opportunity, and I think I'd like to hear it. I'm sure they would as well.
How wonderful would it be? Or kind of how the poetic justice of Sam has always been told that books are folly and they're to be dismissed, and nobody with any real common sense ever deals with books. He said, no, actually no. People who read books can do good in the world, they can do good for the greater good. Yeah, see, right? He's never been around this many books before. He's climbing up the bookshelf to get a particularly, artistic, or book from the top shelf. Gets all the way up there, doesn't, severely underestimates his own weight. Tipples backwards off the bookshelf and pulls all of those books down the top. John, Miguel, you could direct this bit, right? We saw your work with John under the bodies in Battle of the Bastards. Imagine Sam trying to fight his way out of all the books. That he's loved his whole life. And now, if he hadn't got what he wanted, he'd still be alive. It wasn't battle that killed him, it was books that killed him. Oh my God. That's not like a minute. So right, Sam.
Knowledge is a dangerous thing.
So female empowerment, obviously a huge aspect of season 6, but really, I believe, the series itself. And I think that no character personifies that more than Nathalie Emmanuel's character, Missandei. Everybody got a different pronunciation for that, I noticed. Missandei. Yes, Cersei and Dany, Rheon, Yara Greyjoy are women of strength, but so much of that comes from violence, or the threat thereof, whereas Missandei, a former slave who speaks 19 languages, offers something else. Compassion, intelligence, keen insight into the human condition. In some ways, to me, it's the most impressive trajectory of anybody on the series. Can you speak a little bit to Missandei's role in the future of the Seven Kingdoms, as you see it?
It's hard to know what the future brings for her, but I think that she genuinely believes in Daenerys and her claim, and Daenerys has saved her life and liberated her and acknowledged her brilliance, because it's something that she also has. There's these two women that sort of respect and lift each other up, and it's a really sweet friendship and I guess working relationship as well. So I kind of hope that Missandei continues to support Daenerys and they sort of continue to be this sort of girl power couple.
Conleth, Varys has... I'm not gonna stop you. That is
Dragon Hasselhoff.
He has a seemingly endless array of spy network. Obviously he uses to his advantage. I'm wondering if you had such array of spies in your real life, what would you do?
Whatever.
How would you use that power? For evil or for good?
For good. I despair of the world at the moment, with everything that's going on, and I think we should all be heading towards inclusivity rather than exclusivity.
Yes.
And I admire his approach, and I love that this season you got to see him interrogate someone, and it probably wasn't what people expected, but that's just the way he works. So I like him, and most of the bad things are said about him by people who don't like him, which is a great example of the way the world works. But I think he's, so far, I mean, it could turn on its head, I've no idea. He could have been working for someone else the whole time, but it doesn't feel that way, certainly. And so I guess I'd use it for good.
Seems like you're having a ton of fun, and you're coming at it. So many of the scenes when we cut to you, they play comedically. In fact, when you watch the show, which I find really interesting, I've been to a few of the premieres, people laugh throughout the show, and it doesn't necessarily happen as often when you're sitting at home. But there's something about when you get together with the community and watch it, and I think a part of that, obviously, with Peter and with you. I'm wondering if you're doing that on purpose to bring a comedic bent to it, to bring a little bit of levity, or is it on the page, or is it something that...
It's all on the page, and some of David Dunn's descriptions are hilarious, like, what bitch, or something like that, you know. But no, it's just an exquisite script, and it's perfect when you get it. Just go with it, and we're very grateful for that.
So are we.
Yeah.
Sophie! You've had a big year.
I've had a what?
A big year.
Oh, right.
Big, brutal year. I should say Sansa has. First question that I think a lot of people would like to know, I certainly am one of them. Why didn't Sansa tell Jon about the Knights of Vale? That seems like important info.
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah! That's what I was wondering.
Why do you think?
Sansa didn't tell Jon because she wanted all the credit, and it was a more dramatic moment when she showed up, and it makes for really good television. Now, here's the question that I'm wanting to know. Why It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia didn't get an Emmy nomination?
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys have won. What are you doing wrong? We haven't done enough seasons. I think we're only on season 26. I'm guessing 27. You guys seem to know a lot of people at the Emmys, because you've all been there, but I have never been. I would go as one of your dates.
Well, you deserve to be
Well,
there.
Yeah, you do.
Not here for me. Well, do you believe that Sansa believes that Jon is the best fit for the Iron Throne, or do you think she maybe believes that she is? Or someone else?
I don't know about the Iron Throne. I think she believed it was probably more of a joint effort in terms of the Battle of the Bastards. She believes that they should both be King and Queen of the North, for sure. I don't know about the Iron Throne. I'm not sure she's so keen on that anymore, but I'm not sure she believes that Jon is capable of running Winterfell in the North. I think she thinks he doesn't have the intellect, the knowledge, the experience that she has. And I concur. But she knows that he has wonderful morals, and that kind of those stark morals that, inevitably he'll make the right decisions, or the good decision, but whether it's going to benefit anyone is another story. Whatever, Jon.
Oftentimes when you see an actor try to play a badass on screen, they're not quite pulling it off. It just sort of takes you out of it. You sort of never believe that this dainty little actor is as tough as he or she actually looks in real life. That, however, is not the case with Faye Marsay. Pretty much channeled the Terminator, and I don't know Schwarzenegger.
Stole that one. Yep. I was like doing a scene and I was running, and then I was sort of mid-scene and I realised that my arms were doing this, and I thought, yeah, I'll keep that. Did, and it went down pretty well, so yeah.
Well, so it was unbelievably authentic, and so do you have any background in martial arts, or are you just like a badass in real life? Or?
No, I'm quite a scaredy cat in real life. I'm quite nervous and shy actually. So spending a month with Maisie Williams training like gets you in the mood, you know. She's really good, so you want to be like as good as her. She used to hit me all the time, make me keep going. Come on, Marsay, come on. So I have a lot to thank Maisie for. So yeah, in real life, I mean, I quite like football, soccer over here. That's about it. Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation that Arya and the Waif are in fact the same person, which would explain quite a bit. No one else seems to see her when she's beating up a blind girl in the middle of Bravos. Nobody seems to actually notice. What do you think?
I think the theory was a cool one. It would have been really cool, but I think Maisie's. I think Arya is Arya, and that's her journey. And I think the way it is now is the best way. Like, the theory's good and it's creative, but I think they've got it right. The writers,
Hey, writers. Are people reading into it too much, or? That's fair. So Isaac Hempstead Wright plays Bran. Bran obviously got some pretty big info in the season finale, probably one of the biggest secrets in the history of the show. And your character is the only one that knows it. If there's anybody in this room who doesn't know what I'm talking about, you do not deserve to be here. And I'm just going to tell you. It would appear that Jon Snow is not, in fact, Ned's son at all. He is a Targaryen and therefore has a rightful claim to the throne. So what do you think Bran is going to do with that information?
Well, first of all, I don't think we know for sure whether it's a Targaryen. That it could well be that there's an incest situation going on like with the Lannisters. Definitely Anna. Well, I think Bran knows that he's been shown this information for a reason. He might not know exactly why that is, but he knows for some reason it's imperative that he knows this and he spreads the word. But I presume somehow he'll tell Jon, but I don't know how Jon will take it when Bran turns up and says, by the way, I'm a tree wizard and your dad isn't your dad.
So you pretty much grew up on the show. You started when you were 11?
Yeah, Sophie and I both started when we were fairly young. And,
what's it like to be internationally famous at that age? 11 to 17.
It's fun to be here, but you don't really notice it. I think you just kind of take it as it comes and enjoy what comes of it.
I have a question for everybody that I'd like to have everybody answer. It's two-parter. One, I don't think you guys should answer. I'm going to start with Miguel. Who do you believe will win the Iron Throne, and who would you like to see on the Iron Throne?
Oh, that would be telling. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. I would be very happy if they shared it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, the only hint that we have of this is Mr. George or Martin said that the ending would be bittersweet, which doesn't give too much away. But knowing the deranged minds that we're dealing with on this show, it could be anything. Listen, I hope I don't get this right. I have an image of a White Walker sitting on the throne, but the Night King with his leg over the arm, sucking on a Cuban cigar. But what do I know?
When it comes to that, what do I know? It's tricky, isn't it, when people ask me how do you think it's going to turn out? Because you think, what if I'm right?
Yeah,
Worst
what do you mean too?
And then in 2 years' time it flashes back to this, John Bradley spoils it all forever. But I'd say, just out of pure blind loyalty, I'd say, John. Just because that means that I may be in it till the end as well, and the way it goes.
That's amazing.
I have a similar motive, and I have to say Daenerys, because the loyalty thing. Because I think, she's a good girl. She can be very ferocious, but she's generally, cares about people and wants to change things. I think she make a good queen. But at the same time, I'm so excited about the Starks all sort of coming back together. So who knows? Who knows?
Good point.
Right,
Yes.
true.
I know, but I can't say.
I think I want Littlefinger on the throne. I just think it'd be.
Shame.
No, I just think it'd be fun. It'd be quirky, sadistic. We like that kind of thing. Come on, we all watch Game of Thrones. All right, leave it out, mate.
I think we should melt the thing down and have a democracy.
Can't really follow that one. Probably Arya, because if I don't say Maisie, she'll probably beat me with a stick. So, Arya.
I think we should have a four-pronged Stark dream team. Jon on the throne, Sansa advising, Arya beating people up, and Bran sitting in the corner of the tree.
I think the throne's probably not going to be important by the end of the show. I think there's going to be a huge battle between the Night King and Daenerys, and I think Cersei's probably going to get flattened in between somewhere. But on the throne, I think Westeros for once deserves someone with honour and integrity, and I think Brienne would make a really good fight.
I think we're going to open it up to some questions out in the audience. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, there we go.